But I think one of the biggest mistakes that we have made is that we've looked at the peace process simply as a diplomatic process. And of course, that's a very important component. Yet what we neglected is that it has to be rooted in reality on the ground, both the political reality on the ground and the physical reality on the ground. And I think in some ways I look back and, Israel has many, many issues and we can talk about them. But as I look back at us as a former president negotiator, sometimes I would ask myself, where we already had a peace deal for statehood, our institutions were weak, our political legitimacy was weak. So I think focusing simply on the diplomacy and ignoring the reality ultimately leads to failure, no matter how much, because as negotiators, we can make progress in the issues, but ultimately politicians and leaders have to make the decisions. And if the reality is not conducive, they will not make these kind of decisions. And I think as we look now forward, and I think there's a lot of talking about two-state solution, it is key that we also not only focus on diplomacy, but start focusing on what do you do on the ground to make sure that this diplomacy is rooted in a real thing that can actually work once we get to the moment of decision.